Hey guys, we're going to put this video on our Fun Parks and Game Centres playlist, although it's not really either of those two things. What this is the World Expo 2005 site. So in 2005 the World Expo was held here. That quick image you had there was of the light rail system that they used to commute there and back. These are some of the venues that were used during Expo 2005 and are still being used now. There's also other venues like this one that have been converted from what it was being used to during Expo to being a water park now. So there's a swimming pool in there, and obviously as you can see, water slides and so on. So they're still getting some use out of them. And then adjoining this place they've got a baseball field and some other things like that. So the site's now being used for all sorts of things. It's also got the Totoro house on it that we showed you previously, where they have the imitation of the Totoro house. This is a Japanese tea house that was actually used during Expo that's still in use now. You can either go and sit there at a table and chairs and drink tea, or you can actually go into a proper tatami room and have a proper tea ceremony done for you. So that's a pretty special place as well. So it's an interesting mix. There is big spaces now that are just gardens basically. They've demolished a lot of the pavilions and things that were there and replaced them with just park. So it's just sort of basically parkland with a few interesting things. So if you had a lot of time in Aichi and you had an afternoon to spare, it's probably not a bad thing to do. If you've only got a short time, you might not want to spend it here. It's not the most exciting place. Those of you who have seen some of the other places on the Fun Parks and Game Centres playlist will know that there's other places that are probably more interesting than this to visit. But if you've got a spare afternoon, it's not too bad. Lots of trees and walkways and parks. There's a bus that goes around. If you don't want to walk too far, you can get on the bus and go around, because it is quite far. Everything there is quite far. Or if you feel like it, you can walk. They've also got bicycles for rent there. You can rent a bicycle and bicycle around the place, which is actually quite a pleasant thing to do. So to get there, you'd get on the train from Nagoya and you'd go out to somewhere else and change to the people transit system thing, and that'll take you right to the entrance of this place. Free admission. It's just a big public park basically, so it's free admission. This is interesting. If you look on the roof of this building here, you can see there's a park on top of the building. Here's the other side of it. So there's shops and things underneath with a park on the roof, and what that achieves is a lot of very good insulation. So this particular day was like 36 or 37 degrees. It was a pretty hot day, but that insulation on the top makes in here really pleasant. So there's this big open space here and a nice breeze that goes through. So it's a really nice cool space on a hot day. It was really, really good. And they had lots of food stalls and things around, so you could buy lots of different tasty foods. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. If you're in Aichi for an extended period of time and you've got an afternoon free, it's not a bad thing to do. Obviously that's just a water tower up there, but made to sort of look a bit spacey, isn't it? And that dome there is now just used as an information centre, and it's got bathrooms in it and so on. These trampolines are fun for kids. These balls are interesting. We'll just show you these quickly. It starts off like a plastic bag, and they put the kid inside the plastic bag and then they pump it up, which is sort of interesting, and slowly it just inflates and becomes a big ball. And then when they finish pumping it up, they pull a big tube out that's blowing the air into it and zip it up quickly, velcro it closed, and push them out over the water. Good fun, good fun. Those of you who are wondering if you're too big for it, probably. There was no sign saying what the maximum weight was, but you can see it's mostly kids. Now, there's a few cosplayers wandering around. We definitely got the impression that some of these cosplayers were being paid to be there, and there's other cosplayers that seem to be there just for their own entertainment, which is quite common in public places like this. It does happen. You get cosplayers turn up, and these guys taking pictures of each other definitely gave the impression that they might just be there for fun. Who knows? Some of you might recognise who those guys are. We got no idea. These two are the Expo mascots. So World Expo, Expo 2005, those two dudes were the mascots. So yeah, if you have an afternoon free, probably not a bad thing to do. If you've got an afternoon free and lots of free time in Aichi, pop out to the Aichi Expo 2005 site. Hope somebody found that interesting. More videos coming soon.